The common understanding of consistency is a streak. Day 1, day 2, day 3, a chain that grows longer with each successive alignment. Miss a day and the chain breaks. The streak is lost. The count resets. The alternative model is different. Consistency is the practice of returning to the standard after every break. The streak is a byproduct, not a skill. The skill is the return. A person who breaks and returns the next day is practicing consistency more effectively than a person who never breaks but would not know how to recover if they did. Hey there, it's me, Core, and you're listening to Exercising Consistency from Fitness to Flourishing. The streak trap. The streak model has 3 hidden costs. First, the all or nothing binary. You are either on track or you're not. Each day of alignment is counted the same way. Each miss is a reset. The binary hides the truth that every day of alignment is a discrete choice, and every miss is a discrete choice. The streak does not measure the quality of those choices. It counts consecutive days you avoided a miss. These are different things. Second, the break becomes an identity threat. When the streak is your identity, a broken streak feels like a broken self. The narrative that follows is predictable. I already broke the streak, so this week is lost. I will start fresh next Monday. The break becomes a permission structure for further breaks. The single missed day multiplies into a missed week, then a missed month. The damage is not the missed day. The damage is the narrative that follows. Third, the recovery skill doesn't develop. The streak model has no room for recovery. It does not teach you what to do the day after you fail. It only tells you that you failed. A person who has never practiced returning to the standard will not know how to do it when the first real break arrives. The break becomes a catastrophe instead of a simply managed part of the journey. The discipline, redirection, is the skill. The discipline has 2 moves, reinforcement and redirection. Both are neutral. Both are equally important. Reinforcement is the acknowledgement of alignment. You met the standard. You register the data. You move on. Redirection is the acknowledgement of misalignment. The standard was not met. You register the gap. You return attention to the standard. The next choice is entirely open. The streak model trains only reinforcement. It celebrates the aligned day. It has no move for the day after the miss. The discipline trains both. Redirection is the move that builds durable consistency. The person who can redirect can return from any break. The person who can only reinforce has one move, and it fails the moment the streak breaks. The measure of the discipline is not the length of the aligned streak. It's the speed and neutrality of the return. The choosing self is not damaged by a miss. The choosing self, the faculty of choice or volition, is not determined by past conditioning, circumstance, or prior character. The choice you make in this moment is not constrained by the choice you made yesterday. The missed day has no weight. It cannot reach forward into today and determine today's choice. You are not a project that accumulates virtue over time, building toward a state where you are finally consistent. You, in essence, are the choosing self, exercising alignment or failing to exercise it in each present moment. The failure of yesterday is data about yesterday. It is not a verdict on today. The streak model treats the self as a project accumulating credit. The return model treats the self as a faculty exercised in discrete moments. The record can be broken. The skill, once developed, cannot be lost. The ACT score. The ACT score is a concrete example of the return model. It is a counter that tracks days of alignment. Miss a day and it resets to 0. The score is the number of consecutive days you have met the standard. This looks like a streak, and it is, but the mechanism is not the measure. The mechanism is the reset. The score resets to 0 on the missed day. There is no negotiation, no grace period, no, I will start fresh next week. The score is 0. The question is, what do you do now? The person who returns the next day brings the score to 1. The person who lets the 0 become a week stops the practice. The mechanism is the same for both. It does not care. It is neutral. The only variable is whether the return happens, and if it does, how quickly. The ACT score trains the return. It removes the narrative. It removes the shame spiral. It removes the I already broke it permission structure. It says, you missed. The score is 0. The next choice is open. What do you do? How to practice the return. The return is a skill. It can be practiced. It must be practiced because the first real break will come. Define the return protocol before the break happens. Decide now what you will do the day after you miss. The answer should be as simple as the standard itself. I will complete the causal minimum, or I will do 10 minutes of exercise, or I will show up and do the warm-up. The protocol removes deliberation from the moment of recovery. Do not analyze the break. The impulse to understand why you missed is a trap. The analysis will produce a story, and the story will feel like progress. It is not. The only productive response to a missed day is the next day's alignment. Analyze after the return, not before it. Return without explanation. You do not need to announce that you are back. You do not need to acknowledge the gap. You simply train. The gap is registered. The discipline has recorded the data. The return is the only response that matters. The hardest moment is the morning after the break. The impulse to skip is strongest. The narrative of failure is loudest. The discipline lives in the window where you acknowledge the impulse and return attention to the standard. The measure is not the streak. The streak will break. It's not a matter of if. The only question is whether you have practiced the return. The measure of your consistency is not the length of your longest streak. It's the speed of your return. The person who misses a day and returns tomorrow has a stronger practice than the person who never missed, but also never developed the skill of recovery. The discipline does not ask how long you went. It asks only what you do next. To put this practice in place and turn it from an idea into a lived experience, start your day 1 inside the ACT Score Challenge. That's it for today. Catch you next time.